Hi guys, welcome to episode 3. I'm going to be showing you how I prep my sketches and my prompts and then upload it to NewArc. This is a process that works good for me. It doesn't necessarily have to be the way to do it, but I hope that it can show you a realistic process of the renderings that you've been seeing, online. It looks great, to show the most mind-blowing realistic sketch, but the truth of the matter is you really have to do a lot of renderings in order to get to that perfect image that you see in the end posted online. So I will upload a sketch. I'm going to start with this one, Trif.Studio. The way that I usually write my prompts is I start off with the product, the material, then the texture of the material, the color, the product podium, and cherry on top of the cake, the lighting. But what also is important is to slowly build up on your prompts. We're going to start very small, concrete, and work together with the AI. I'm going to say this is a side view of a sneaker with glitter material and suede leather. Then enhance color guidance. I will leave it on 5 for creativity level and number of images 8. Let's start rendering. Okay, it's giving me a cartoony rendering of it. That's not something that I want. And the color is just whatever it thinks that it should be. Okay, not at all what I wanted. So let's kind of start going deeper. Let's also mention the kind of colors that we want. So glitter should be silver glitter material and suede leather should be white suede. And I will take out the leather, the word leather, because I think that that's confusing it. It'll probably think that I want like just smooth leather instead of the suede. So let's kind of hone it in a little bit. White suede and on a product podium. Let's see what we get. Okay, it's slowly moving into the direction that we want it to go. And what I'm also noticing is that it's not really interpreting the sketch perfectly, but for now we're just going to close an eye and make that a future Ilinca problem. Let's amp up the creativity level and see what happens. And let's also say direct sunlight. Okay, interesting. Now all of a sudden the leather's become a patent leather. And it's not suede. It's definitely extra, but not the kind of extra that I want it to be. So let's try one more time, bring it back to creativity level 5, and the product podium, I'm going to make it into a granite. Granite product podium. Okay. This is interesting. It's got bokeh in it, and the granite is light. Now, yeah, still not the direction that I want it to be. I want there to be a proper difference between the glitter and the leather. And it seems that it's having some issues with that. How are we going to fix that? Now, this is where the idea of having a sketch true to the prompt is important. So I already have another sketch prepared. And I'm going to upload this one. What do we have here? We have properly discerned panels that have to be glitter with a glitter pattern already on the inside. And I also want there to be a color blocking on the outsole. So I made sure to make a clear clear difference between that as well. And I'm gonna upload it, and I'm going to keep the prompt the same. The only thing I'm going to update it is I'm going to be a bit more precise with the color of the product podium. So I would like that to be gray granite product podium. There we go. Yep. I even like that the top right one is starting to have some piping finishing. But at this stage, you really want to generate, generate, generate. The product podium is still white. This is interesting. It's starting to play around with the blocking of the grays as well. So at this point, we're starting to see that there's like a repertoire between the AI and I. It's starting to also have some room for inspiration, but a bit more funneled and more focused. So that product podium is still not the color that I want it to be. It just keeps coming white. It seems like it's on top of dark granite, but the actual product podium is white and even marble. And that's not what I want. Future linker here. I had a look over the YouTube video that I made, and I was sensing a slight irritation in my tone about the fact that NewArc wasn't reading the colors the right way in the product podium. What I later found out is that actually the color blockings in your sketches play a pretty big role when having the enhanced color guidance on. So in my product podium, I was having it white and I was requesting a dark granite. And that's why the AI wasn't reading it the way that I wanted to. It's quite interesting. So it gave me some ideas. In the next videos, I'm going to do a deep dive on how to do exact color fill-ins for the sketches. But for now, yeah, I hope that this made it clear enough. So it's my fault, not NewArc's. So let's get back to it. So how are we going to fix that? Well, you've already seen it. I've put the glitter within the panels where I would like it to be. And I'm going to do the same thing now with the product podium. So it actually has an image of a granite within the product podium. So let's see how it's going to make that interpretation. Now we're getting somewhere. I like that the product podium, it instantly got more of that granite look. And it's even seeing the rounded shape of the product podium as well. So I'm just gonna do a few more renderings and then just pick my favorite ones. The way that you select the images that you like the most, you will have here at the bottom of every image a save. So if you click this little flag, it's going to pop up here at the top. And now we can have a look at the ones that I've selected that I like the most. I've chosen this one because it has the clear color blocking on the outsole and even interesting, a touch of gold at the back. Here I even like that it started to interpret the granite also a little bit on the background. And yeah, also these ones are a good interpretation. And I think they're a pretty good start towards the direction that I would want it to end up. Now, from here on, I would probably maybe add also some background images on the back or kind of define a bit more where I want the glitter. Do I want more glitter, less glitter? This is like a good start of the process, I would say. And a good presentation as well when you want to show it to maybe one of your clients or talk it through with your team and see what they like about it. Now that we've had this glitter material with a granite podium, let's go into a completely different direction. Let's try a translucent material. So how are we going to do that? Now we're going to start with a completely different prompt and we're going to update the sketch a little bit and we're going to go for this one. Now here you see that I've tried to show like a transparent look also to the outsole and also to the panels. and it should have some mesh nylon to it. How are we going to work with that? We're going to open it, and just like with the previous ones, start small and build up from there. So this is a view of a side sneaker, sporty mesh, acrylic material. You're probably going to say, Ilinca, acrylic material, that's not something that you use on a sneaker. You would actually say like a transparent TPU. But at this stage, you know, you need to also be a little bit creative with your prompts. The AI is trying to interpret like the materials that you're mentioning it, and TPU is not a very common material, so it's not going to understand it, whilst acrylic is a more common form of material that is transparent. So that's why sometimes I use words that are a bit unconventional to show the material that I wanted to make. So this is a lot of talk, but let's see if it's actually going to understand what I'm trying to tell it. Let's generate it. Absolutely no clue what I was trying to say. I think it's completely confused. Okay. It has absolutely no idea what I was trying to say to it. And I think the reason for that is that I started moving into a very opposite direction to what we were just making. So maybe I've shocked it a bit. Let's do a few renderings with less information. I will take out the sporty mesh. What I will be doing is I'm going to be doing several renderings to slowly get to the right direction. Okay, it's still not understanding the transparency that the material should have. So let's slowly build up. I'm going to now say transparent acrylic. Transparent acrylic material. And translucent outsole. Okay, I think that the word transparent is definitely helping out. And we're even getting some kind of frosted look onto the material. I'm just going to be doing a few more renderings of it. And I'm slowly going to add in also the fact that there's sporty mesh to it. That's really helping out. And even here, I think that it's really starting to get the shape of the open mesh as well, that it's quite wide. And I even like this, the color. Okay, a little bit less stressed out now, so now it's time to add color. And I think once we tell it the color that it needs to be, it's going to get an even more focused feeling to it. So let's just say emerald. Emerald, transparent acrylic material, white, translucent outsole, sporty mesh. And we're just going to repeat emerald. And we're going to keep it on 3 for the creativity level. Okay, yeah, that's good. It's kind of forgetting some of the panels, and I'm not really sure why. I guess that they're just a bit too transparent right now. I'm noticing that it's having difficulties with seeing the product podium, so let's add in a product podium, and I'm gonna add a very shiny, crystally amethyst product podium. And we're going to make it also within our prompt that it knows what we wanted. So we're going to say amethyst crystal product Podium. Okay, so let's see what it's rendered. Okay, I can see that some of the purple amethyst is also translating into the shoe. But it's quite interesting, I have to say. Is it getting the perfect panel of it? I don't think so, but to be honest, I think the reason why it's not seeing it, first of all, it probably has a lot of details to it, and second of all, I have a sneaky suspicion that if I make the outline of the lines thicker, that it's going to notice the panel. So I'm just going to go into Illustrator, make that adjustment, and see how the AI is going to react to that. But look at that. Oh, I really like the product podium. I made a few more renderings. Yeah, it's really struggling with the panels, but the translucent outs, the bottom translucentness is there. I like that very much. And that it's color blocked. Now I'm gonna jump quickly into Illustrator and thicken out the outline of the panels and see if we can fix that. I'm gonna up the stroke to really exaggerate it to a 5. This is how it looks now. Hopefully it can see the panels exactly as I want them now. Yeah, it's slowly seeing it. It's slowly seeing it. Let's make just a couple of generations of it. Let's generate as many as possible. Yeah, it's slowly starting to understand it. Gonna generate it again. I believe that the word amethyst is kind of confusing the AI. So to try and change that, let's also take that word out and just leave the word crystal in it. Now I've taken the word amethyst out, and I think that it's going to take out that purple color. There we go. Perfect. Just how I wanted it. The product podium is actually just in emerald now. So the colors it's focusing is on white and emerald green. I think this was a great example of you come across a problem and you have to figure out, okay, how can I help communicate better with the AI for it to understand what it is that I want? And you need to not feel discouraged if in the first few renders you don't have what it is that you want. You just have to kind of push through and guide it into the direction that you want it to be. So here are the selections that I've made of the nicest renders. I really like the fact that you can see the difference between the white and the green and the emerald and the translucentness. And although there's like different variations of it, it's still kind of like in the same family. Now, we've done two pretty hard materials. We've done glitter, which is quite hard, and we've also done like a translucentness, but how do we get like a fluffy look to it? Now, we're gonna start with a new sketch and a new prompt, and this is the last one. We're gonna upload a new sketch, and this time we're gonna go for a teddy material, quite plush and soft and fuzzy. So let's see how we're going to get to that result. Again, side view of a sneaker, teddy material, and velvet leather. Five, 8. So because we didn't mention the color, it's just giving its own interpretation. But I have to say, the first start of that teddy material, I'm having a good feeling about it. I think that we might be able to pull this one off. Okay, let's keep it a bit more simple. I personally like lighter colors, so I'm gonna keep it a light beige look. So I'm gonna mention the colors: white teddy material, and we're gonna say cream, velvet, leather. And we're gonna take out the word leather because I always have a feeling that the AI will prefer the word leather above the other kinds of materials that I mentioned. So we're just gonna keep it cream and velvet. And we're going to mention that it's on a product podium. Cute! I like it. Very much so. Nice. Okay. Let's not get ahead of ourselves, but it's looking good. It's looking in a good direction. So this teddy material gives me a very cool location vibe. So let's put this sneaker on top of an ice block. So we're gonna give the product pony ice block. We're gonna say frosted ice block podium. Frosted ice block podium. Let's put an overcast lighting on it. I have to say, the frosted ice block is coming out really nice. I even like the fact that the bottom plate is becoming a bit bluish. I think that those colors are quite nice. Yeah, it's looking nice. But let's see what happens if the product podium actually has like an image reference to it. So we're gonna add this one to it. And generate. Is there a difference? I think so. I think so. While in the previous rendering, the ice block didn't have that much. It has depth, but it's not as intense. And with the ones that have the image to it, the ice block has become a lot more kind of like chisel. I'm gonna make several more renderings and then just select a few of my favorites and show you those. So here are a few selections of the renderings that I think have potential. I like that it can also inspire me in regards to the type of color blocking, and that it gives you a little bit of idea of how would it look like with a little bit of a icy blue to the bottom. So I think that the balance, yeah, it looks nice, and the presentation is also a good direction to start moving forward with. Here you see on the left some color blocking ideas, which, yeah, honestly, I think that that could be a pretty interesting sneaker. And also here with a complete kind of white cream color. And it definitely has a good idea of kind of that fuzzy teddy material that I wanted it to have. So what's the moral of the story? Basically, you need to start with well-defined concept and idea. You have to start with an idea that is well translated within your sketch, and then those prompts that you will write for it are going to mirror exactly what it is that you want to get. Make sure to have a little bit of flexibility when it comes to paneling and types of color variations. Again, this AI, it can bring you like 80% there, and I think that that's a pretty impressive result to get within just a few seconds. But also, as we've seen, you can come across certain barriers or certain issues or certain roadblocks where it can feel frustrating and you thinking, I'm handing in the towel. But I think most importantly at those stages, try to figure out, try to start testing, have a bit of open-mindedness to, okay, what can I do to slightly change that? Which direction can I go? And if everything else fails, you can always just take a 10-minute break and then get back to it and start all over again, which is what I've been doing with this video already like 10 times today. But I hope that this is clear. If there's any questions that you guys have, just put them in the comments section below. I'd love to get back to that. And yeah, I hope that you have fun experimenting, and I'm looking forward to making the next video.